Hello everyone. Today I thought of making a video on one of the most requested topics, that is how to find research positions, CV update strategies, or how to find a job in Canada. This can also apply to US, but I genuinely feel that finding a job or a research position is much easier in US as compared to Canada. So this is IMG Digest, and I'm Dilshad, and let's get deep into this topic and see how we can improve our existing CV and how we can apply for a job before getting into residency. So sometimes this is a general norm that is thought that the candidates who are appearing for the entrance exams like QE1 and NACOST, they come and ask me that what can we do after our exams? So I want to change this understanding that usually this process of job slash clinical position slash a research experience usually goes side by side with the QA1 and NACOST. Yes, I understand that it's very tough, but I have done the same process and I can tell you that it's doable. It is exhausting, but it is doable. And as in medical terms, there is a joke that this too shall pass. It shall pass like a kidney stone, but it too shall pass. So I'm telling you that it's very hard, but ideally you should start a search for your job or a research position when you have started and your preparation for the exam. Your question bank is decided, your number of days, um, your number of questions you have to do every day has been decided, your resources have been decided. When you're going to take the exam, I would say like probably half a month into your preparation, you are having a fair idea what time you are left with in the entire day for searching for a job, and after you get a job, what time you can devote for that. So it can ideally be, I've always told everybody, it's easier to do a part-time job. First thing is that the restrictions and the commitment is not as much as a full-time job. Second is that you get a lot of time at hand to study. And the third is that there are many, many advantages if you get a job in your selected field. And we'll come to that in latter part of this video. But I personally feel that the right time is to start searching as soon as you sit for QE1's preparation and do that. So sometimes, there is a question that should I do this job till the exams? How can I manage everything together? Is it okay to find a job not suited to my specialization? So usually what happens is that when you do something which is not aligned to the residency you're about to get started with, it creates a conflict. So I'm love pathology and I have a pathology background. Now, say I come to United States or I come to Canada and I start doing a job in orthopedics or I start doing a job in pediatrics, and start working with a pediatrician. But I'm applying for a pathology residency. So you see, this is a lot of discontent and it's a lot of unfilled spots that create like questions in mind of people who are reading your application, that this person maybe did not get a job or was not committed enough. So ideally, you should do a job or a research that is more aligned to the specialty of your choice. Now, most of the IMGs in Canada resort to family medicine or internal medicine, which is great because it's a very big field. And internal medicine slash family medicine covers almost all parts of general medicine. It covers cardiology, it covers rheumatology, it covers nephrology, it covers everything, obs, gynae, pediatrics. So it's aligned. So, but if you're going for a niche position such as OB-GYN or ophthal or ENT, my suggestion is that you should do the research in that super specialty. Like if somebody has done OB-GYN from India or Middle East and they're wanting to do some kind of research in Canada or US, they should ideally do it in the same field, not in a different field. So that is something which is very important. So again, job slash research should be very specific to what you want to do. How much time do you have available for studying? There is a very big role of letters of recommendation requirement. And honestly, once you start a position, and by all good luck, it is a paid position, it gives you some kind of pocket money to, even though it might not be as much to run a house on a daily basis, but it's a big help. So why research is important? So something is that, you are competing with thousands of international medical graduates and medical graduates and American/Canadian medical graduates who have a lot of well-rounded experience when it comes to medical education in North America. What we lack as international aspirants is we are not aware of the research that is happening on this country, and we really have to step up and see what all is there available. So when somebody you are competing with has a lot of research on their CV but has similar scores than you, the chances of that person picked before being picked up for interview is much more as compared to yours. It's a very big green flag for your application. Uh, Program directors these days, the people who send out the interview invites, see research as one of the green flags, in addition to what are your scores, what is your overall CV, how much experience do you have. Research plays a very big role. So, research as well as some kind of job application, a job in that same field. It can be either of them. If it's both of them, it's great. If it's either one of them, it's I'm sorry about the alarm, but it's great that anything can work out for your CV. So something is that you need to update your CV as you go on in your life, when you are working, when you're doing some kind of poster presentation, when you're doing some platform presentation, the meetings you attend when you are a medical student. You need to constantly update your CV. So again, the same question comes: why doing a job is preferred, or why doing a research is preferred? Because there is increase in competition. Every day the scores are increasing. I got 219 QE1, and still I thought that that is something that, in addition to research and my part-time job, was a good thing. But I've seen that every day the research bar is setting higher. So that is important. The criteria of selection, job experience plays a very big green flag. And you should ask yourself, what in your job is important, and why should they select you rather than selecting the other candidate. Now, coming on to the main topic on what are the strategies to strengthen your CV. Now, these are the strategies, and I consider research, volunteering, job shadowing, any job, part time, preferably part time because you're preparing for your exam side by side, rotations, observerships, electives, some kind of courses, remote work. And this was important because it was COVID and I did a lot of remote research. Unfortunately, right now it's not the norm, but at that time it was a norm. And conferences and workshops. These are all the strategies that help you strengthen the CV. Now we'll dissect these one by one. Say somebody is from India, like I was from India, and I want to clear my USMLEs and I want to come to Canada to get through the medical system in Canada. So the first thing is to understand the entire medical system of North America, how it works. Back in India, we have a very different system as compared to North America. And by North America, I mean USA and Canada. So I realized that there is a lot of difference. I studied from CMC, I studied from Tata, which are apex Ivy League, so-called Ivy League colleges in India. But it is very different from what it is in US or Canada. So these people have very big translational research, basic research, molecular strategies. They pay a lot of importance to that. And we didn't have any kind of exposure back in India. So if I thought that if I have something like that on my CV, this can tell the program director that yes, I have done something worthwhile and it's a green flag on my application. Coming to the topic of volunteering and job shadowing. Now, this is something that you can do, which shows your strength and which shows your commitment to the community work. Uh, I put specifically volunteering here because it was COVID time, and so many things happen that volunteering was considered as a very big thing. So even if there is COVID or no COVID, volunteering itself is a great thing that tells your commitment to the community. And in North America, this is valued greatly. So if you are helping, if you're helping somebody economically, or you're helping them, like you're working in a Red Cross, or you're working with paramedical services, this can happen. And this is voluntary. You can hold like camps, like food camps, these kind of things, medical camps. This is voluntary. It's research can be paid or unpaid. Volunteering is usually unpaid. When it comes to job shadowing, it is essentially that you request a physician that you can shadow them when they are working with the patients or they are working on the cases, and you're seeing how their day goes. This is also an unpaid position, but job shadowing, what it does is it gives you a basic idea about what a day in a doctor's life looks in North America. Job shadowing can be done by just emailing and talking to the doctor concerned, and this can work wonders because you will start knowing the system around you. Jobs can be part-time or full-time, and for IMGs or for non-IMGs who want to get an experience, jobs can be anything from um, a hospital job, which can be a part-time or full-time. It can be an admin job in the hospital. It can be a job in the specific department you are concerned. It can be a physician assistant. It can be of a research associate. It depends on what position you are hired on, but usually these kind of jobs have a bit of commitment. I can give you my example. When I came to Canada, there was nothing because it was all COVID. I started working in an old age home. Luckily for me, even though it was COVID and it was a scary time, but it was a part-time job and I was paid weekly. So that was a good thing because this was also counted as one of the community work because I was working in an old age home. After that, I started working on finding the job in pathology department because I wanted to do my residency in pathology. So I started finding something that should help me in my pathology application. So I started working for that, and I found a part-time job in one of the hospitals. It was an admin position. Initially, it was an admin position, and I used to, transcribe the reports. But it gave me a wonderful opportunity to interact with Canadian pathologists. And at the end, it also gave me a chance to get letter of recommendations from them. So that was a great thing. So my request to everybody who out there is to find a job that aligns with your specialty of your choice you're going to pursue. Now coming on to rotations, observerships, and electives, this is usually that you have to pay out of pocket, and you will have to see, as much as I know, in US there are a lot of opportunities for rotations and observerships and electives. There are various companies also which take money from you, and they give you a month or 2 months in a community hospital or in an academic center. You can also go to the suppose you are in India and you want to come to US. Specifically you are targeting, like, okay, I want to come to a city which has a lot of hospitals, because a lot of hospitals means more number of opportunities, right? So you research that, say, some of you want to go to Chicago has a lot of hospitals, so you do go to their website of the hospitals and you see if they're offering any rotations, observerships, or electives, or you write to the program directors of XYZ program where you want to do your observership. Usually it's a paid position. They will ask you to deposit some money, and then you'll be given a badge. You will be your background check will be done. Maybe you will require, most of the times people require a visa to come, and then after a thorough assessment, they will give you a visa. Your observership position is reviewed, and then you are given a chance to go to the college and or a university on and see, work with the residents, work with the program director. And the big thing that these things do is that they also give you a chance to develop a case report or a case series, so that you do something, you publish something, so that you put that on your CV. That is a great thing. Then it comes to courses. Honestly, ALS, BLS courses have been there, which are like basic courses. I don't think doing those courses gives you a lot of edge, but some people, I've seen them doing that. Remote work was more like a norm during COVID, and then conference and workshops. So during conference and workshops, it usually is easier to do a networking. For pathology, we have College of American Pathologists, we have US CAP, we have many regional pathology conferences where I have seen candidates come and they network with the doctors. By networking, they try to showcase their personality, their skills, their past background, whatever is there. They interact with pathologists or any doctor, whichever conference you go to, and they strike a chord. So it's easier to get an interview when somebody knows you on that level. So conference and workshops are something that help you network, and they are great sources of networking. Research usually is of two types. It can be a clinical research, which is easier to get. It can be based on retrospective or prospective studies. Usually this happens in academic centers, in universities and medical colleges. The Things that are under these headings can be like a clinical fellow, research coordinator, and research fellow. So I'm telling you this because if you go on platforms like LinkedIn or Indeed, you can search for these keywords like clinical fellow, research coordinator, or research fellow, and this can help you finding that to find those jobs. So LinkedIn and Indeed were the main platforms that I used to find a job that I got. um, Basic or translational research, this is a bit difficult to get. This is in basic sciences, but it's mostly done by students that are interested in translational research, usually have a PhD background, and their research gets published in high impact journals, but this is a bit tough to get, to be honest. uh, Again, the positions can be funded or unfunded, financial assistance or self-supporting. This can be a bit tough. Uh, Anybody can do a research. Medical student can do a research. Applicant, you can do a research in internship. And sometimes previous experience in home country in US or Canada also helps you getting like a aligned research for your specialty. So how to find a position? So you must decide first what specialty are you applying, and you should be committed. It shouldn't be that one day you are wanting family medicine and the next day you're wanting surgery, or one day you're wanting psychiatry and the next day you're wanting pathology. You should decide what specialty you are applying. Research should be in sync and aligned with your interest. That means your findings or your research on the your search on the social media or your search on the internet will be very specific. And also you need to find a mentor to work under. So Google up the how to find research positions. Google up the institution and search for research or observership opportunities. There are various job portals like LinkedIn, Indeed. Write to emails to program coordinators and program directors. Express your interest. Do not write a generic email. Send your CV along with. So I'll go in detail for what this means. This genuinely means that you are approaching a person who's sitting in North America. You are sitting in your home country. They know nothing about you, but you have to express your genuine interest in doing something with them. You should send a CV, and that email should be well written. It should not be like a copy paste email that you send to each everybody. And this has helped because I found remote research by writing emails. And I can tell you, although people say that it's luck based, it's a very tough process. It's a frustrating process because you have to write those emails to about 80, 90 people at least, and then get a reply from one of them. So it's like a very, a shot in the dark, but if you play it well, it goes in your favor. So you should write your strengths, past experience, and your ability to work. And express them that if there are remote opportunities, you welcome it, but if it requires visa, you'll work for it. And the things you can ask to work for is like any review articles you can help them with, any case reports they have, and you should have a good updated CV when you approach them, and go to PubMed and Lancet, etc., and see how case reports, case series are published. So you can also, if you're sitting at home doing nothing, you can just, this is just a Google search that I did. And I said like internal medicine conferences. And you can just go online and search for conferences. Most of these are remote, but you can put them on your CV. Or if you can afford, you can go to the conferences in person, present some kind of research, and gain that experience as well. So sometimes the conferences are free, sometimes they are paid. You can get opportunities to work on clinical tele rotations. You can do some kind of remote work. You can do BLS courses, ACLS courses, but don't think that you're starting out small. uh, I used to think that I'm not doing anything working in an old age home, but I got asked that question so many times in my interview. And same with the transcriptionist. Like, it has very less to do with pathology as a field, but that's the only thing I could get during COVID, and it worked in my favor. So I'm telling you, it's not like you really have to aim high. Even if you start as a physician assistant, pathology assistant, transcriber, or a medical scribe, anything, you build up on it. Just don't stop finding for a bigger thing. Now, there are many WHO volunteering opportunities also. If you go online, you can see that. American and Canadian Red Cross also recruits candidates. So something you should have, which is important for you to write in your CV or your personal statement. So something they can ask you like, how did it add your value to your life, or things like that. So the main advantages of doing any kind of experience, which I listed like a big list, is that it helps you get letter of recommendations. It gives you a North American experience. It tells you the health experience in that country. You tell them that it shows your commitment to serve, and it really strengthens your CV. So if everybody has the same score, the chances of a candidate with more experience always has a better chance of selection. So that is very important if you think of doing this. So again, the question comes, is it 100% sure that I've got great scores, research and volunteering? Is there a chance of 100% selection? No, no one can answer that. It's very unpredictable, but we have to be sure that we are doing our best. So you can just do as much and leave the rest to God and just pray that everything works in your favor. So sometimes what happens is that you need to do the work of cold emails. And actually, I used to do this. I will show you the example of my email box, which was filled from 2021 in that year that I was finding jobs. So I would write cold emails. I would just go online, go to any city and see the medical colleges there, see pathology department, see the people, and their emails are usually given. So that is great. When their emails are given, you should write them and say, okay, this is this. First, introduce yourself and say that usually when their emails are given, their CV and biodata is also given. And it shows what topics have those doctors researched on. So you can like say, I'm very keen on research and read your paper, title, blah, blah, blah. I'm very impressed. Is there anything I can assist you with? Looking forward, all those things. So not like so showing anything, but I can show you that it was all filled with those things. So again, it's 1% luck and 99% hard work. So good communication is something you need to work on. Great strategy, well informed and well resourced preparation, and consistent revision and faith and persistent that keep trying till you nail it. There is no golden formula that somebody can tell you. You just have to be persistent on LinkedIn, on Indeed, search those keywords, network with people, write cold emails, and then, one day hope for that reply. So I leave you to it and do the targeted preparation, and I'm sure it will get you somewhere. Thank you so much and have a good night.